Good morning. It is day 5 and we just docked in Cozumel. We are in a pretty cool spot. We are actually right next to the Wonder of the Seas, which is a much bigger ship. You can kind of see it out there. I got some cell phone footage whenever we were first coming into port. Today we are doing the Eco Park tour. So I'm going to be meeting Holly's family in about 20 minutes, and then we're going to head on off into Cozumel for the day. So last time we came to Cozumel, we actually did the cenotes, which involved about 5 hours round trip travel time. We convinced Holly's family that we didn't want to sit on a boat and in a bus for close to 5 hours today, so we are doing something on Cozumel, which will be fun. We are going to be back in Cozumel in 6 weeks, so Holly's not missing too much today, but yeah, it'll be good. Other than that, I think we're going to have some fun with 70s disco night tonight. Excited for you guys to see our crazy little costume. I may make Holly dress up even though she's not going out with us. No, she's rolling her eyes. That's not happening. But it was worth the shot. Yeah, thanks for clicking on the video, and we hope you enjoyed today. Like we did for most of our other days, we headed down to Studio B first and met for our excursion. After that, we disembarked the ship and met our tour guides. It was really honestly awe-inspiring getting off next to the Wonder of the Seas, coming from the Adventure of the Seas, and just really seeing how different the boats were.
Oh, hello. It said zone 9. This way.
Punta Sur Eco Park?
Yes, sir.
Punta Sur Eco Park? How many?
After we had checked in for our excursion, we waited in line for a few minutes, and then our guides took us through the port area. This is the main port in Cozumel and is full of shops and honestly a little confusing if you don't know where you're going. Once we were through the port area, we were guided to a box truck that looked like it had been modified to turn into a passenger bus. It wasn't the nicest ride in the world that we've been on, but it definitely worked for the occasion.
About Mayan police, the real income here.
Okay, come on everyone. You know, as you can see, that's certification. It becomes awesome.
Our first stop on our trip was to some old Mayan ruins that were some sort of kind of lighthouse, is what our guides told us. After looking at the ruins for a few minutes, they walked us across the road and kind of told us about the mangroves and how important they are for the local area and protecting the communities. And then finally we made it over into kind of this inter-coastal water area where we were supposed to be finding some crocodiles. Unfortunately, we didn't see any crocodiles while we were there, but it was still neat and definitely different from all of the beaches that we were seeing. After that, we had a short bus ride down the road and got to a private beach resort where we were able to enjoy the water, go snorkeling, grab a bite to eat, and grab a couple of drinks. We were the only group that ended up showing up to this beach area, so it was kind of nice. It was like we had a private beach between about 30 people total, and it was very nice and quiet. If you do not like the party beach scene that you may see closer to the port, this may be a good option for you. We ended up getting a few plates to share between all of us, and honestly, the portions were massive, and the drinks weren't too expensive, though we did have the drink package on board the ship, so we didn't feel the need to go too crazy here. Pina colada.
I do Italian coffee bar. Ones are raccoons. The raccoons are the gray ones. Oh. It's like me, famous but not rich. Everybody knows me.
After we were done over at the beach for a little bit, we started to make our way back to the port and stopped over at this gorgeous lighthouse. It was very narrow, and at the very top, the only way to get out to the edge is crawling up through a very, very tiny hole. So if you're on the larger size, you may want to skip this part of the excursion, but the views are absolutely beautiful. Probably one of my favorite parts of this area, right behind the lighthouse, was there were a few trails to kind of walk on and explore. I really wish we had more time. We were only given 30 minutes, so it took about 15 to 20 minutes just getting up and down the lighthouse. But then after that, I did try to wander around and see some of the local area.
It was about a 20 or 25-minute ride back to the port area, and we had plenty of time to get back on board the ship before we needed to head back home. So I just kind of wandered around and showed off some of the shops that you can check out. Obviously, there's some of the bars that are right by the port area when you first get off. There's a Senior Frogs and kind of the 70s Beatles-looking inspired bar as well, and plenty of shops for buying little knickknacks that are inspired by local Mexican and Mayan culture.
So we're having some fun tonight. It is disco party night, 70s night. Unfortunately, Holly is not feeling her best, so y'all don't get to see her amazing outfit until the next time we have a 70s night. And my afro is just covering all of my eyes. We are going to be leaving in about 30 minutes, but 70s night supposedly started at 5 o'clock. So we're going to see how many people actually dressed up for it. And I think this is the most I've gone crazy for an event on a cruise ship so far. So I'm about to head over to the main dining room. We're going to have dinner, and then we'll see how the rest of the night goes. Thank you so much for watching.
Mom said to take the wig off. It's in my pocket. Wow. 70s night's about 45 minutes.
Well, not if you're tequila. I mean, they took it. Can you just put a little bit on the end of your nose, please? Or under your nose? Dude, you're a step away from John Lennon. Let's be real.
Sugar cane. Correct. Number 12. Whiskey is typically aged in what?
Okay.
So as you can tell, the end of the video kind of got a little more fun and wild. We were dressed up for 70s night, and overall it was a great evening. So much so I kind of forgot to do a video at the end of the night. We were able to get Chris, Blaine, and Paul to all dress up with us and just kind of go wild and have a good time. We checked out one of the fun game shows, went over to the piano bar, and then the disco party was much later on in the day. But speaking about actually what happened kind of in the middle of the day, we'd gone to Cozumel and we went on a group excursion to Punta Sur Eco Park. Kind of discussing that, I was a little disappointed by it overall. The bus to take us out there was glorified metal cube with plywood with just holes cut out in it. Not great air conditioning, as in there was none. It was 80, 90 degrees outside. It was sweltering, and it was not comfortable. And it was a somewhat long shuttle ride to where we were going from the port. After that, we went and saw what was advertised as Mayan ruins. I was expecting more, and it ended up being just a single kind of
I don't know, they kind of talked about it as like a lighthouse or something. I get it. We weren't going to the mainland and going to one of the big archaeological finds by any means. But at the same time, I was hoping for a little bit more than that. Instead, we spent 3 minutes standing by this, and then we went and saw
Crocodiles.
the
Crocodile area.
did have a platform you could go up and climb to the top. There seemed to be boards missing. It seemed to be rickety. I did not feel comfortable climbing to the top of that. I've done many risky things in my life, and going up that tower was not going to be one of them. We didn't see a single
Crocodile.
over there. We waited around for about 15 minutes. So that, again, was kind of disappointing. Further down, we ended up going to the private beach area, and that wasn't too bad. The beach club was called Ana Noma de Mar. I included a picture of it earlier. It was some pushy people trying to get us to buy stuff. Their handmade goods, trying to get us to get coins that were cut a certain way. And then also the staff kept pushing for us to buy our lunch as soon as possible because they kept acting like it was going to be packed later. They were acting like there was 3 or 4 more groups coming, and if we didn't order right away, we wouldn't be able to get our food. So even though it was actually still pretty early in the morning, I want to say like 10:30, maybe 11, we weren't super hungry yet, and we're just getting pushed and pushed and pushed to go and order right then and there. Not an overall great experience for what we would have liked to enjoy. The sandy beach was gorgeous. They did have a snorkeling option for those that wanted to do that. They had a tequila tasting where they tried to get you to buy overpriced bottles of tequila. By all means, most of the tequila was tasty, but I don't know if it would ever... I would never spend $150 to $200 on some of those bottles. But that's just me. Maybe someone that is way more robust in the world of tequila would have done that, but I just couldn't justify it at all. After that was probably my favorite part of Punta Sur, and that was going to the lighthouse. It was very narrow. To my larger friends, you may not enjoy trying to go upstairs and look at the view, but it was gorgeous once you got to the top of there and you could see all of the surrounding area. I tried to show that in the video for you all. And then also around the base of it was some trails, which I honestly would have loved if we had had access to that while I was at the beach. Because I'm not one for just laying around at a beach and doing nothing. I want some sort of engagement, something to keep me busy. And honestly, I love just kind of hiking, and that would have been a lot of fun. So I tried to show some of the trails that I walked along over there. And it also had some really cool bits and pieces about the history of the lighthouse keepers for that area, for the island of Cozumel. So, would I do this excursion again? Probably not, and that's mostly because this isn't my style of kind of excursion or thing that I would want to do normally. If you want a relaxing beach day that is in a protected area and you want to check out the lighthouse, it could be good for you, but I'm not sure if I would do this one again. Overall, it wasn't a bad day. The tour guides were phenomenal. They were friendly, they were helpful, they answered questions. It just wasn't really my jam. But it was a great day. We went back on board the boat. We had a blast with 70s night, as you saw, and overall ended it on a positive note. The next day is going to be a little interesting. We're going to a sea day and then to Perfect Day at Coco Cay before we end up back in port. For the sea day, we actually did a behind-the-scenes tour of the ship. So I hope you're looking forward to that. I tried to record whatever I could. And as always, if you like what you saw, please like and share and subscribe. And we are really trying to grow the channel as much as possible. Would love to hit close to 300 subscribers before we get on our cruise in Alaska in June. So we're really trying to push these videos out as much as possible. And as always, if you have questions, ask them below. And if not, we will see you in the next one.